From rock bottom to millionaire, the untold story. Imagine waking up one morning with nothing left, no money, no home, no direction, just a heavy weight on your chest and the feeling that the world has forgotten you. This is not fiction. It's the beginning of one man's story, a story that proves even in the darkest valleys there is a way back to the light. From broken dreams and rock-bottom despair to building a fortune and inspiring millions, today you'll hear the untold journey of a man who refused to give up. Stay with me until the end, because the lesson hidden in his story might be exactly what you need right now. Years ago, James had what many would call the perfect life. A decent job, a small family, and the kind of financial comfort that allowed him to sleep peacefully at night. But life has a way of testing us when we least expect it. It started with a job loss. A sudden wave of layoffs swept through his company, and James found himself at the mercy of unemployment lines. He told himself it was temporary, that something better would come. But weeks turned into months. Bills piled up, savings drained, credit cards maxed out. Soon, James and his family lost their home. The man who once provided security was now crushed under shame, sleeping in the back of his old car. Friends stopped calling, his confidence shattered. And the world that once seemed full of opportunities now looked like a battlefield where every door was locked. James was broken. Rock bottom wasn't just about losing money. It was about losing hope. Nights were the hardest. The silence inside that cold car whispered words of defeat. You're worthless. You'll never come back. But in those dark nights, James began reflecting. He remembered his father's words. Son, a man is never finished until he decides to quit. He realized that while he had lost money, possessions, and even dignity, the one thing he still had was choice. He could stay down, or he could fight his way back. So James made a promise to himself he would rebuild, slowly, patiently, brick by brick. But rebuilding didn't mean waiting for miracles. It meant learning new skills, understanding money in a way he never had before, and most importantly, mastering his own mind. One day, in the corner of a dusty public library, James found a worn-out book on personal finance and investing. At first, he laughed. How could a man with $0 learn about wealth? But as he read, something shifted. The book didn't just talk about money. It talked about mindset, discipline, and the power of compounding small actions over time. James devoured every page, then every other book he could find. He filled notebooks with ideas, and soon he realized the first investment he had to make was not in stocks or real estate or business, but in himself. He took odd jobs, saved every cent, and began applying the principles he studied. Small, consistent steps became his lifeline. James started a small online business. At first, it barely paid for food, but instead of chasing quick wins, he applied patience. He reinvested every dollar, studied market trends, and treated mistakes as lessons. The man who once felt powerless was now driven by a vision, not just to make money, but to build freedom. Within 2 years, James had cleared his debts. Within 5, he had created a business that generated more income than his old corporate job ever had. But more importantly, James had discovered a truth. Wealth isn't just numbers in a bank account. It's resilience, it's courage, it's the ability to take control of your future when everything seems lost. A decade after losing everything, James stood on the balcony of his own home, overlooking the city skyline. A millionaire by net worth, but more importantly, a man rich in wisdom, gratitude, and purpose. His story wasn't about money alone. It was about proving that even the deepest failures can be turned into fuel for greatness. James often says, "I didn't build wealth, I built myself." Wealth was just the result. So what can we take from James's journey? That no setback is final unless you accept it as the end. That financial freedom doesn't start with money. It starts with mindset. and that anyone, no matter how far they've fallen, can rise again. James's story is proof that resilience, discipline, and hope can rebuild a life from ashes to abundance. And maybe, just maybe, his story is a reflection of what you needed to hear today. If this story inspired you, imagine the journey we'll share together on this channel. This is just the beginning. Subscribe to Hope to Wealth and join a community built on resilience, hope, and the pursuit of financial freedom. Because your story might be the next one we tell.